Detective Alan Briggs thought he had seen every kind of criminal. But when shop owner Marcy Trent vanished after a series of eerie midnight calls from an untraceable number, he was pulled into a chilling hunt that exposed hidden technology, vanished victims, and a predator who always seemed one step ahead. The quiet suburb of Lakewood had always felt safe, a place where neighbors waved from their porches and children rode bicycles along tree-lined streets. That sense of calm began to crumble when residents started receiving mysterious late-night phone calls. At first, the calls seemed harmless, just a single ring or a few seconds of static before the line went dead. Most people brushed them off as misdials or a childish prank, but the pattern grew impossible to ignore. The calls always came after midnight, and the number flashing across caller IDs never matched anything in the phone company's database. Some claimed the screen displayed nothing at all, only the word unknown. The tension in Lakewood escalated when Marcy Trent, a beloved shop owner known for her bright smile and evening walks, disappeared without a trace. Hours before she was last seen, her phone log showed 3 unanswered calls from the same mysterious source. Her car remained parked in her driveway, purse inside, keys on the counter. There were no signs of forced entry, no footprints leading away from her home. Only a cell phone left buzzing on the kitchen table, ringing again and again with that same untraceable number. Police combed through records and security footage, determined to find a logical explanation. Yet every lead dissolved. The number connected to disconnected lines, abandoned payphones, and at times, nothing at all, as if the calls came from nowhere. Technicians verified the town's communication towers and found no anomalies. The deeper investigators dug, the more unsettling the mystery became. Lakewood residents responded with growing fear. Families began switching off their phones at night, unplugging landlines, and setting up neighborhood watch patrols. Parents kept children indoors after sunset, and the once lively evening streets fell eerily silent. Theories spread like wildfire. Some believed it was the work of a tech-savvy stalker, while others whispered about something supernatural. Rumors of a digital ghost haunted online forums, and locals swapped stories of faint breathing or a low hum on the other end of the line. Despite the unease, there were no suspects, no ransom notes, and no demands. Only the chilling pattern remained, a single, untraceable ring that shattered the stillness of night and left its recipients wide awake, staring into the darkness, wondering who or what was watching. Detective Alan Briggs arrived in Lakewood with a reputation for solving difficult cases, yet nothing in his experience prepared him for the strange trail left by the unknown number. He began by retracing every step of Marcy Trent's final day, mapping her movements and the hours before she disappeared. Security footage from a nearby gas station showed her stopping for fuel, a brief, ordinary errand that soon took on new meaning. As Briggs reviewed more victim timelines, he noticed an unsettling overlap. Every individual who had received the mysterious calls had visited that same station within days of their first encounter. He ordered a full review of the station's security tapes. Grainy recordings revealed a figure who seemed to appear each time one of the future victims arrived. Always at night, always wearing a black baseball cap pulled low, the person lingered near the row of old payphones, but never used them. The figure's posture was patient, almost calculated, as though waiting for something or someone. Briggs had the footage enhanced frame by frame, yet the face remained a blur, an unrecognizable silhouette that technology could not sharpen. The detective dug into phone company records next, expecting to find at least a digital trace. Instead, the calls bounced through a maze of disconnected lines, abandoned towers, and false routing codes. Even seasoned technicians admitted they had never seen anything like it. Each signal seemed to vanish the moment it was received, leaving only a timestamp as proof. For Briggs, this was no ordinary prank or random harassment. It was meticulous and deliberate. When another resident, a young teacher named Cal Foster, vanished after a midnight call, the town's unease erupted into panic. Patrol cars swept the streets, and volunteers combed wooded areas on the outskirts of Lakewood. Briggs coordinated searches while studying the growing list of connections, convinced the gas station and the unknown figure were central to the case. Still, no fingerprints, no footprints, and no reliable witnesses emerged. The lack of physical evidence pushed Briggs to consider possibilities he would normally dismiss: advanced signal spoofing, someone with inside knowledge of the telecommunications network, or a stalker exploiting hidden weaknesses in outdated infrastructure. Each theory raised more questions than answers. With every night that passed and every silent call reported, Lakewood's fear deepened, and Briggs felt the weight of a predator who seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Briggs refused to let the case turn cold. Night after night he reviewed reports, searching for a common thread that could pierce the wall of silence. It was during a quiet dawn at his desk that a small overlooked detail surfaced. Nearly every victim had filed a report for a minor car accident in the past year. At first, the connection seemed weak, but the pattern grew stronger with each file he reopened. Fender benders, scraped bumpers, unexplained dents. Each incident had resulted in a vehicle being towed by the same local company, Silverhook Recovery. Curiosity sharpened into suspicion as Briggs studied the company's records. Silverhook's owner, Eric Voss, maintained a clean history and a modest public profile. He paid taxes on time, passed inspections, and employed only a handful of staff. Nothing about him screamed danger. Yet something about the neatness of his paperwork felt too perfect, as if designed to discourage further digging. Briggs requested access to the impound logs and noticed that every victim's vehicle had been stored in the same corner of the yard, away from cameras and regular foot traffic. Determined to learn more, Briggs had each recovered car examined by a forensic team. What they discovered was both subtle and alarming. A series of small adhesive patches, no larger than a postage stamp, hidden beneath dashboards and behind glove compartments. At first, they appeared to be harmless stickers, but a deeper analysis revealed them as microchips capable of transmitting GPS data. These devices were sophisticated, built to remain undetected for months. The revelation recast the entire investigation. Whoever placed the chips had been tracking the victims long before the unknown calls began. The late-night rings were not random harassment. They were signals sent once the prey had been studied and chosen. Briggs traced the origin of the chips to a defunct electronics supplier overseas, a source that offered no customer records. The trail ended in shadows once again. With mounting urgency, Briggs expanded surveillance on Silverhook Recovery. He watched Voss closely, noting his precise routines and solitary habits. Despite days of monitoring, Voss never revealed anything unusual. Yet Briggs could not shake the certainty that this quiet tow yard held the key to Lakewood's terror and that someone perhaps hidden in plain sight had mastered the art of turning everyday misfortune into a blueprint for disappearance. Briggs knew waiting any longer could mean another disappearance. He devised a plan to expose the person behind the phantom calls by creating bait no stalker could resist. An unmarked police vehicle was staged as if it had been in a minor accident, then quietly towed to Silverhook Recovery under a false work order. Beforehand, Briggs concealed a tracking beacon inside the car's frame and installed discrete cameras around the impound lot. The goal was simple: see who tried to plant a microchip and follow their next move. Days passed with nothing but routine tow yard activity, and the detective's patience stretched thin. Then, just after midnight on the third night, his personal phone began to vibrate. The screen glowed with the familiar, chilling label "unknown number." He answered without a word. Silence greeted him, broken only by a faint electrical hiss that raised the hair on his arms. Simultaneously, the tracker in the bait car registered movement. Whoever was responsible was active again. Briggs and a small tactical team followed the signal as it left the tow yard and moved steadily toward the industrial outskirts of Lakewood. The trail ended at an abandoned warehouse, a hulking structure once used to store telecommunications equipment before the company folded years earlier. The building's interior smelled of dust and damp metal. Faint light leaked from a door on the second floor. Inside, officers discovered a hidden room crammed with obsolete networking gear, switchboards, rotary phones, spools of wiring arranged like a private museum of forgotten technology. Maps of Lakewood lined the walls, each victim's address marked in red. Boxes contained personal belongings linked to the missing: a scarf, a set of keys, a child's backpack. Among the clutter sat a row of payphones wired into a complex tangle of circuits, proof that someone had engineered a private network to mask call origins. For a short time it looked like the mystery was solved, but the warehouse room was empty. Police found only one clear clue: a fingerprint on a broken payphone that matched Eric Voss. It proved he had been there, but there was no sign of where he went. No fresh footprints, no car, nothing to show he had run away. It felt as if the building itself had swallowed him. Detective Briggs stood among the old equipment, realizing that finding this place was only the beginning. The man who had frightened Lakewood was still ahead of them, hidden somewhere in the dark. Weeks passed, and then months. Life in Lakewood slowly returned to normal, but the fear never fully left. Police cars still patrolled at night. People tried to keep to their daily routines, pretending the danger was over. The strange phone calls became less common, but never stopped. Some nights, a few houses got a single ring just after midnight. Other nights, there was silence, as if the caller enjoyed keeping people guessing. Detective Briggs stayed uneasy, sure that the quiet times were part of the plan. Every lead failed. Cameras on the highways never showed Voss after the night of the warehouse search. Airports, bus stations, and border checks found nothing. His bank accounts stayed untouched. No one saw any sign of him online. It was like he had disappeared from the world. Briggs went through every piece of evidence again, the payphone plans, the belongings of the missing people, but found nothing to explain how Voss had vanished. He kept wondering, were the missing victims alive? Was Voss working alone? One evening, a small cardboard box came to the police station with Briggs's name on it. There was no return address and only a smudged local stamp. Inside was a black baseball cap, just like the one in the surveillance videos. Under it lay a cheap mobile phone. As soon as Briggs picked it up, the phone rang. The screen showed no number, only a blank gray light. When he answered, he heard slow breathing and then a soft click, like someone carefully setting the phone down. Technicians tried to trace the call, but found nothing. No tower, no signal, no record of the call. The phone had no SIM card and no memory. Briggs locked it away, but he could not shake the feeling someone was watching him. Driving through Lakewood that night, he thought he saw a figure standing by the old gas station under a flickering streetlight. The case was finally marked and solved, but the story never really ended. People in town still talk about late-night rings and quick shadows. Some think Voss escaped. Others believe someone new has taken his place. Even today, a lone phone ringing after midnight can send a chill through any home in Lakewood, as if the hidden hunter is still out there, listening.